everybody, thank you for joining me here in Mr. Owl's kitchen. Can you believe it's been like a year since I've done any kind of food making or baking videos? Where's the time gone? Last thing I made was those Christmas Krampus cookies, remember those? This time I'm going to make a cake. I'm not a good baker, I'm not very experienced. I did work in a bakery, but just as like a finisher and a merchandiser. Blah. I haven't baked a cake for absolutely years. I think it's been like 6 or 7 years. But a friend of mine has made me cakes for my birthday the last couple of years, and also in the past when I was here in New Zealand. She always makes amazing cakes. This year she made me this like graveyard cake with gummy worms coming out of it, and last year she made this really cute bat shaped cake. So I thought, I'm gonna make you a cake this time. Having not baked anything for such a long time, I was not very confident, but I gave it my best go, so I'd like to share the fun experience with you of baking a spooky black coffin shaped cake. When I think of my friend, I think of the color purple and spiders, because she loves spiders. Like, we used to live together, and if there was a massive spider come into the house, I would be screaming and flailing and running away, whereas she would like pick it up on her hands and be like, hey buddy. So I wanted to make like a little spider buddy cake. I wanted it to be black on the outside and purple on the inside. A nice gothic spooky cake. Before we get started, it's time for the shameless promo, but you know I would never recommend anything to you that I don't think is genuinely good. So in the nature of things that are spooky and scary, this video is sponsored by Shudder, and if you haven't heard of Shudder yet, it's an online streaming service that just does horror, thrillers, creepy shit. With Shudder you have access to a unique collection of original and exclusive films and TV series, as well as the hugely popular new TV show Crüxshadows, which is based on the original films from George Romero, as well as classics. I saw Lost Boys is on there, which I'm well overdue to watch again. That movie came out the year I was born, so 2 vampire type things came out that year. And your subscription gets you unlimited ad-free access on all your devices, including iOS and Android and whatever else you have. It's only $5.99 for the month or $56.99 for a year subscription. If you go to the website shudder.com and you use the code Black Friday, all one word, lowercase, you can try Shudder free for 30 days, so why the hell not? And if you're the kind of person who's into scary movies, Shudder has the largest collection that there is, including a lot of like exclusive stuff that you won't find in any other streaming services, and they have their own original movies, and that's what I was particularly interested in seeing. We watched this film the other night called Gwen, one of their original ones. It's a folk horror set in Wales. It was quite a slow moving movie, but that's the kind of thing that I like, and Mr. Owl actually really enjoyed it, which certainly says something, because I'm pretty sure he hates everything. There's like a lot of international content as well. There's films from all around the world, and it's like human curated, so like a real person has gone through and made these collections of, you know, different kinds of movies. Like, there's also like this kind of live TV function on it, which I thought was really cool. You turn it on and it's just like all scary stuff all the time. You can create a list, so you can like add things to your list of stuff that you want to watch. They already have a lot of stuff on there, and the collection is growing and expanding all the time. The website's pretty easy to remember, but I've linked it just below for you as well, just to make it a bit easier. And like I said, use this code. So if you're a fan of scary movies and TV shows, classic horror, slashes, suspense films and thrillers, do go have a wee look. I think you will really enjoy it. Yeah, have fun with that. You're welcome. Anyway, onto our cake baking. We'll go from creepy movies to creepy cake. Let us embark now on our creepy black coffin cake with spiders baking adventure. I wanted to make it from scratch, but I thought my chances of screwing up were too high, so I got vanilla cake mix from Betty Crocker, 2 boxes, plus what it says to add, so butter, eggs and milk. Also icing sugar, 3 kilos of it just in case. Marshmallows and firm black icing, black gel food dye, red and blue food dyes, vanilla essence, a couple of lemons and frozen blueberries. First I dumped the cake mix into a large steel bowl, then milk, melted butter and 6 eggs according to the box instructions, and panicking upon discovering that 1 egg had smashed in the box and had to send Mr. Owl on a mission to get more, and beat it with an electric beater. Then a few drops of red and blue food dyes, adding these very gradually and stirring them in with a wooden spoon to try and achieve a pale purple colour. The batter being yellowish to start with, the purple was proving impossible, so I settled with the pale greyish purple it became, which looked more goth anyway. Then I grated the zest of 2 lemons into the batter and stirred. I poured the mix into a large rectangular pan. Figuring that the doubled recipe and glass baking pan would alter the baking time, I made the temperature a few degrees lower and ended up baking it about 15 to 20 minutes longer until the cake could be pierced with a knife and no goo came out of it. I was worried when it came out of the oven, this ugly colour, but on cutting it is actually a kind of nice colour on the inside in the end. I gently cut the top layer of cake off so that there would be a flat surface. Always be careful using a big knife. I roughly measured how to cut it into the shape of a non-stupid looking coffin, making the widest part of it about a third of the way down. Satisfied with the shape, I decided against slicing it in half lengthways to put a filling in and opted to make a poke cake where you poke holes most of the way through and fill those holes with delicious goo, or filling of your choice. My first delicious goo attempt involved pureeing blueberries with lemon zest, which for some reason I didn't expect would turn them into juice. I added lots of icing sugar and even butter to try and thicken it. It tasted pretty good, but it was much too liquidy. A thickener might have helped, but never mind. So instead I used the vanilla frosting that came with the cake mix and mashed some blueberries into that. With a chopstick, I poked the vanilla blueberry frosting into the holes along with a blueberry or two into each and smoothened it off. Time to ice, or frost as you say in the USA. In a giant bowl I blattered some softened butter and mixed in loads of icing sugar, a little vanilla essence, a black gel dye and a bit of milk. Measuring out amounts, who ever heard of doing that? This brand of gel dye turned out to be very weak, so I added more bit by bit until the icing was actually black. Then I applied what I believe is called a crumb coat, a thin layer of icing, most of which you scrape off and discard so that the actual icing won't be full of crumbs, but have a smoother surface. I spread the icing evenly over the whole cake using a smoothing tool to try keeping it even. I would have liked the icing to be thicker, and had it been I would have done another layer, but this turned out okay. For the purple icing, I added more icing sugar and butter and less milk this time, so it was a good deal stiffer. Exactly like the cake batter, the icing started out yellowish, so putting red and blue food dyes in made a ghostly greyish lavender, which I rather liked. I kept adding more icing sugar until it made a peak and kept it. I mushed it into a piping bag and piped little waves around the edges on the top and bottom. I also made a little nest for a spider to sit on later. This part was way less fun than I imagined. I'd learned that if you melt marshmallows, you can spread them out like a cool candy spider web. However, the heat of molten sugar aside, it was unbelievably sticky. It liked sticking to my fingers and the tinfoil, but not to the icing. Also, once it hardened, which it did very quickly, the webs just snapped. I kinda hated doing this, and the final effect wasn't really worth the effort and the rage. Lastly, I took the firm black icing, which I had stupidly assumed to be fondant icing, which is very firm and stiff decorations can be made from it. This was actually very soft and sticky and difficult to turn into detailed decorations. I rolled a larger ball for the body, a smaller ball for the head, awkwardly rolled thin strips for the spider's legs. This I repeated until there were spider buddies all over the cake. In the end, the cake tasted really good and it was quickly devoured. So all in all, it was a success. It wasn't quite as grand as I first imagined, but it did end up tasting pretty good and it has inspired me to try and bake more often. In lieu of proper birthday candles, I swirled more purple icing nests and mushed tea-light candles in. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed my suffering and struggling with sticky marshmallow. I'm probably never going to do that marshmallow spiderweb thing again. If I do, it's because I've forgotten how angry it made me. It wasn't even worth it. It looked cool for like a few minutes before it just went hard and snapped, so blah. Would you have eaten that cake? Would you have sat down with a cup of tea and had a slice with me? Do you have a favorite cake flavor? Because I really struggled to come up with a cool flavor for this one. I really wanted it to be like violet and vanilla or violet and lemon, but I couldn't find violet flavor here. I know that's pretty specific and unlikely, but this is the capital city of this country and I couldn't find violet flavor, which is a shame because I used to use it to mix with gin and it's really nice. Really nice with gin. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to my channel, come and join us. As always, take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, stay sweet and spooky, and I'll see you next time. Bye!